Oh, hey, hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to a new game of StarCraft II Heart of the Swarm. Today, we're gonna take a look at a game that I've played last night, and a lot of people in my previous video, I made a video about Rora Zerg vs Terran 2 base roach baneling push. And a lot of people were like, okay, that's all fun and stuff, but why aren't you actually showing it versus a real opponent? So here we are! This is the build order that I made a video about earlier, and this is going to be a Zerg vs Terran on the map Akalon Waste that I played last night, and it was a relatively good game. I've been practicing the build order quite a bunch myself as well, so we are going to watch this game completely through my vision, and we are watching the replay as well, so I have a little bit of an easier time to actually commentate, because oftentimes it happens when I'm talking and playing at the same time, it doesn't go so well, as you might have already noticed. So in this game, I'm going to be executing that exact build order, and as you can see already, the hatch, the pool, and the gas guys are going down. I skipped the first 2 or so minutes of the game because, you know, nothing really happens at that point in the game. So, yeah. So the reason why the build order is so strong, I covered this a little bit in the video itself, but the reason why it is so strong currently is because a lot of Terran players are playing absolutely super greedy. Like, most of them are just being like, okay, I'm gonna get a command center, and then I get another command center, and sometimes even another command center. So they are, most of the time, they are going for at least like a very quick natural, but most of the time they also throw up a really quick third base. Which means they will be able to produce a lot of SCVs. Now, as you can see, I see the first Reaper moving out, so I make 2 queens. I make a set of, or 2 sets of Zerglings rather, to defend versus that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's nothing too major just yet. Now let me actually reset the vision, because it turns out, there we go. Now you can actually see my keep spamming going on right there. But yeah, in the early part of the game, what you're only really trying to do is figure out exactly what your opponent is up to. As you can see, I'm pulling drones off gas. But you're trying to somewhat, at least try your best to defend versus the Reapers or Marines or whatever your opponent is going for. So managed to cancel that, that building again, so not losing any drones just yet. Getting us around on that Reaper, but sadly I was not being able to actually get it like completely properly done. Getting both of my queens up, and I'm going to be starting my 3rd queen as well. Now this is exactly what Rora was doing in his game as well. However, his opponent did go for a early CC where my opponent went for a Reaper, but it's pretty much the same thing. Just that my opponent is going a little bit less economically focused. Now, to give you a little bit of a guideline, I see the 3rd CC by the way right now, but to give you a little bit of a guideline, most of the time when your opponent is going for Reapers, he is allowed to kill about 1 drone per Reaper. That is like what you kind of would allow in a way. Obviously, like, ideally you don't want to lose anything at all, but, you know, sometimes, oh, I actually once again managed to sneak out right there, but, you know, sometimes you do lose a drone or 2, which is not the biggest of deals, but just keep in mind that when your opponent is not very heavily committing into Reapers, you don't really want to lose too much either. Now, here we go, I'm going to be putting drones back in gas, right around the 6-minute mark. I'm going to be starting my 3rd base up, and up until this point, I only really made 4 Zerglings, and, you know, just making a lot of drones, pretty much, for the entirety of the game. Now, computer, don't you dare lag on me. Don't you dare lag on me. Oh, such smooth editing. You didn't even see that my computer was lagging. There we go. So I'm already getting my 2nd gas geyser up, getting my roach warren up, just the completely standard stuff so far. And always looking very fine. Now, we did see his first Hellions move out, so we actually recognize exactly what is going on for our opponent. Just a standard play. We saw the 3rd command center, so we know we can continue the build order. Now, this Reaper is being really annoying, and once again, he does manage to get away, which is, you know, not nice, but it's not the biggest of deals either. I'm just going to make sure that I keep all my queen injects up, and obviously once my roach warren finishes, I'm going to start a lot of units. Now, I'm also relatively early going to be starting my my baning nest, and I'm going to go for the 2 base roach baning timing push. Now, this build order is insanely strong. If you haven't tried it yet, seriously, go try it, because it is amazing. Like, I personally have been doing it a lot, especially last night. And I was actually, like, more surprised than I probably should have been. But whenever your opponent goes for a 3rd CC, at least at my level of play, which is like top master, low grandmaster kind of play, you will be able to almost always just flat out win versus your opponent. Now, that might be a slight little bit of a spoiler, but here we go. Just going to be moving out with all my units, trying to make sure that he doesn't see my roaches up until the very last point, or my Zerglings. I don't want him to like see both, because then he actually knows exactly what is going on. So, kind of trying to hide them a little tiny bit. Going to be morphing all my Zerglings into banelings, or as many as I possibly can. Obviously, the baneling nest is finishing up right now, making 24 more Zerglings and more Overlords, and here we go. A lot of banelings going down. Now, the tricky part is happening right before you want to engage, because if you manage to lose all your stuff or all your banelings to a Widow Mine, it is pretty much GG. So you will need to micro that at least a little bit. Now, I do recognize, oh shit, there are a lot of Widow Mines out right there. And I do see him burrowing stuff and unburrowing again. And, you know, as you can see, he's actually lifting the depot. So I do manage to get into the main base. He's burrowing the Widow Mines, but it does not really matter anymore, because that means he's connecting with his own Marines and Marauders as well as his own units. And here we go. Managed to blow up a whole lot of SCVs when we take a look at the worker kill tab. I am going to be pretty much, you know, dominating my opponent. But after this set of banelings, or after this set of Zerglings, I am going to follow it up with more and more units. Now, I'm going to go back into droning in a little tiny bit as well. But initially, at this point, the game is pretty much over. I am just making more stuff because I recognize, you know, I will probably be able to win right here. But ideally, you would want to transition out of this and go to the mid game with a gigantic advantage. So I want to thank you guys all for watching. Hopefully, yeah, we'll have an amazing day today. Don't forget to smile, and hopefully I will see you next game. Bye! Popular timing pushes right now that a lot of high-level players are executing. But today we're gonna go not over a 3-base timing push, but we're gonna go over a 2-base timing push. Now, this is one of the build orders that